in this football game.
When was the last time, as you look at the Little Tigers who put on quite a show at halftime, when was the last time that you can remember that Moss Point was down? And the answer is last year against Hattiesburg. We haven't been in a situation this year where Moss Point has been down more than a very early touchdown.
Right.
Because the one time we fell behind in the opener against LaGrange, that was in the last minute and a half of the football game.
That's right. And, well, it's been a long time since last year, but let's hope history repeats itself. Down at halftime last year, and Moss Point came back and won the football game. And it just, right now, enthusiasm, and the defense has to set the tone in this opening possession. Moss Point will be kicking off left to right. They need to pin Hattiesburg back, stop Hattiesburg from getting the first down, make a big defensive stand, and just try to take their heart back from right now. All the momentum is with the LSU-looking Hattiesburg Tigers, and you definitely know I'm not an Ole Miss Rebel fan and really don't like them at all, but I sure would like to see the Moss Point Tigers play like Ole Miss did against LSU, especially in the second half, because LSU had a lead on them at halftime, and then Ole Miss came back.
First time since the Tigers scored a touchdown with 1:39 remaining in the first quarter that we've heard any noise out of the Moss Point Tiger fans.
And I'm glad, because I didn't know if our fans would come back alive, but you can hear them right now. They're pumping the team up, but even the team, the halftime talk could have been real serious about get your mind on the football game, don't listen to nothing else, but you don't even see a lot of enthusiasm still on the sideline from the ball players.
Gillespie is the deep back at the goal line, waiting Nettles' kick, as Moss Point must kick to Hattiesburg to start the second half down by 14. And it's Gillespie who takes it from the 3-yard line. Robert Gillespie, the senior, trying to get to the outside. He's grabbed and thrown down as he got close to the 30-yard line. Edward Kelly, number 90, will be credited with that tackle, I believe.
And remember, the last time Moss Point was on the field was when Hattiesburg Span had the interception, and we thought was a touchdown, but someone from Hattiesburg clipped, and the Moss Point defense stood tall, primarily J.M. Mitchell, and Kelsey Bolton came and made the big defensive play, and now it's time for this defense to do it again.
Truth be known, this could be a much uglier score than just 21-7. First down, Hall hands off to Gillespie, who tries the outside, and the Tigers string him out there, but he still fights for yardage, taking Hawkins and Borden and Nettles with him for 7.
Got to knock him backwards. You cannot let him come forward. And normally when you see a running back get extra yards, those yards at the contact is because his legs are driving. The defensive player is not squared up. His shoulders are not squared to drive the running back backwards.
126 yards in the game now for Robert Gillespie. Hand off to the fullback, and he has a huge hole and got out to the 42-yard line. That was Jonathan Hopkins with the big gainer.
They didn't really use the fullback much in the first half, maybe 2-3 plays, but he has to be a bigger factor here in the second half, because the Hattiesburg coaches have to figure that Moss Point made some adjustments to try to stop number 2.
9-yard gain, first down for Hattiesburg. Again, no, they run option this time. Quarterback's going to keep. He's tripped and then thrown to the turf by Bivens at the 46, but you've got the penalty flag.
Well, you can look at Lakeith Grace jersey right now. It's twisted all the way around on him. He was definitely being held. And he was being held by big number 70, Robert Miller, the big offensive tackle for Hattiesburg, the 271-pound senior offensive tackle.
Tiger Football 97 is brought to you by Singing River Federal Credit Union, International Paper Company, Sabrex Pharmacies, the City of Moss Point, its employees, the Board of Aldermen, and the Mayor. Williams & Sons Liquors and Wines, Health South, A&B Check Cashers, Metamart Pharmacy, and Dr. Carlos Forrester.
Well, Lakeith Grace has got to get off of that block quicker. That's what would stop that holding call.
First down 20 now. Jump pass, and it's incomplete. And Kenneth Johnson was the closest man to the football. Nettles certainly put a shoulder into Tommy Farrell.
And I don't know if Farrell would have held it even if it was good, because Nettles was right there with the helmet right in his rib cage and right on the side where the football would have been. And the ball probably would have just spurted right back out.
Second down and 20. The final regular season home game for the Moss Point Tiger seniors. Back to pass, blitz is coming. They throw the ball incomplete. Gillespie on the screen pass The ball was overthrown by about 4 yards. Penalty flag comes down after the pass by the umpire.
Excuse me, has to be an ineligible player down the field.
They set up a screen, though the Tigers had a well defense. Jerry Alexander is waving, decline it. So it'll be 3rd and 20, assuming West Point does decline it. Hall is 4 of 12 for 71 yards in tonight's game.
And Coach Kirkendall and McCarvey had the right call. Kendrick Bivens was coming on a blitz. Hall did not have time to get set, but Lakeith Grace read the screen and was right in the mix.
3rd and 20. Back to pass. Throwing long. Downfield, man, there it is, almost intercepted by James Nettles. The coverage by Nettles and Johnson as they tried to go to Terrell Grindle. Good Tiger defense on this opening possession of the second half.
And yes, sir, Neil Hall does have an arm. He may have shot-putted a couple of passes early, but the young man can throw the football.
And if he had just a little more air, he may have been able to split the defenders.
Yeah, because that receiver had broken free. James Nettles had good comeback coverage on there, good speed to come back.
Matt Daniel, the punter, back is Armstead. Tigers have 10 men at the line of scrimmage.
Now that should be a penalty as well. After the center,
there is the flag.
After the center touches the football, if a player runs on that side of the field, he's actually offside.
And then when that lineman got there, he was dancing all over the place. He couldn't get his feet set. 5-yard walk-off makes it 4th and 25.
Well, the defense did its job. They stopped Hattiesburg. Need to really protect this punt because the ball is still wet.
Tigers were coming after that one, and boy, did Daniel get a good punt off there. Fair catch called for and made by Armstead at the 38-yard line, but Matt Daniel did his job as the Tigers put pressure on the quarterback. On the punter, I'm sorry.
Well, let's see if the Tigers' offense is going to come out with the offense that is open with or the spread. We know they're huddling up now instead of going from the no huddle.
Sellers and Kelly are the backs on 1st and 10 for Fant. Jones in motion. He's joined by Armstead in the backfield. First down, Cisco, the ball carrier. Cisco to the outside. Cisco is hit and brought down at the 44-yard line. And you got to credit number 43, Cedric Boykins, blocked, knocked to the turf, and still able to make the tackle.
We have seen more little people. When I say small people, not the big stature football players this year have become hitters. We saw it from the first game against LaGrange. And they say little people don't have a place in football.
18-yard gain on first down for Moss Point. Fant will give it to Sellers this time, and Sellers is going to get 1, maybe 2, but that's it.
Well, Hattiesburg has done a good job on Jarvis Sellers since that opening drive. Jarvis ran pretty free on those plays, and they made the adjustments, and that's where that superior size is somewhat coming into play right now.
2nd down 9. Jones and Armstead left and right. And Fant gives it to Cisco. He breaks an initial tackle, and Cisco got to the 36-yard line. Give him 7, 3rd and 2.
A good run, because Cisco, he had a lot of yak yards too. Once he was hit, he actually got 5 yards after contact.
Now over 100 yards in the game. Cisco Kelly has 104 yards rushing. We need 2 more here. It's 3rd down and 2 with 9:21 and counting in the 3rd quarter. Tigers of Moss Point down by 14. White in motion, give it to Cisco, trying the outside, still trying the outside. Great speed to get there, puts the shoulder down, gets the first down. Cisco Kelly did all that on his own.
He made 3 beautiful moves that you worry about that cutting ability on this turf, but it didn't bother Cisco. He's playing with a lot more fire and desire than what he had in the first half, especially after that fumble. I think when Cisco fumbled, the Tigers' last play of the first half. I think he pumped himself up.
Cisco has 14 carries in tonight's game for 110 yards. Apparently, they didn't like the way the ball was sitting on the...
And the official from the furthest spot saw it.
First and 10, Moss Point. They give it to Jarvis Sellers, and Sellers fights for 5 to the 25. So Moss Point, who threw the ball 14 times in the first half, I have a feeling we may not see another pass tonight.
Well, the way they started throwing the football, they started running the football, and even in the last drive, didn't get anything, but they drove the ball down the field against Hattiesburg, and so far, that's what the Moss Point Tigers are going to continue to try to do against the Hattiesburg Tigers.
High formation set, second down 5. Give it to Cisco, coming right. Cisco tries to get the corner. He dives and got maybe half a yard.
Hattiesburg's ladder pursuing, and Barkins again, 43, the little man playing the cornerback. He just came up big then, and he forced the action on Cisco Kelly. I actually believe Cisco's got better at Moss Point's running ability. It's off the tackle with Cisco on the quick dive plays. But once he gets ahead of steam, he can keep his right legs moving and get big yards.
Third down and 4, Moss Point. Bant pitches it to Sellers. Sellers, first down Moss Point as he dives to the 19. 5-yard gain for Jarvis Sellers.
And Jarvis just cut the ball back to the inside. It looked like he had a lot more action outside to use his speed, but Jarvis is more conscious of trying to get the first down, and that's not bad.
Inside the 20 at the 19. The Tigers tonight 1 of 2 in the red zone, which is inside the 20-yard line. First down, Sellers pitch, gets a block from Cisco, spins away from a tackler, penalty flag comes down. It's going to be a holding call, I believe, against the Tigers.
And the receiver from Moss Point had good contact, but what happened, and normally they don't call that because what happened, he rolled. Once you make contact, if the defensive man rolls his back to you and you don't lose contact, that is not supposed to be a penalty, and I think that's what was called.
The walk-off will be against the Tigers for holding. Move the ball back to the 28-yard line. There's an injured Hattiesburg Tiger on the field. It's Terrence Barnes. He limps off. So you pick on him right away.
Right away. You put Jason Armstead out there and you beat him to death. Or Jason's coming out. It'd have to be either Hayward Jones or Jeremy Matthews that's in.
So the Tigers now have first down and 19 from the 28. I formation is how Moss Point lines up. Pitch to Cisco, he's going to throw it. He looks, he fires downfield. It's a wobbly pass. It's intercepted in the end zone. Intercepted by Chris Gray. And that was not the best pass that Cisco Kelly has ever thrown.
No, it's not. And Brad, that hurts deeply when you move the football down the field like that. You get a holding call again, the penalty flag again. Stopped a very good drive. Jarvis Sellers had about 8 yards on the play that he got, that the holding call was called upon.
20-yard line, first down 10, Hattiesburg. Run it to the fullback. And he gets about 5 yards. Does Hopkins, 2nd and 5.
And it appears what Hattiesburg is doing now is trying to lull the Moss Point offense to sleep, defense to sleep. They're just going to take the time, and they're going to utilize it. They realize they have a lead. They're trying to clock management right now. That's what Hattiesburg is playing.
5-yard gain, 2nd and 5. They run option, and the quarterback is hit and dropped. Fabian Johnny, number 45, made the tackle on Hall after a gain of 1, 3rd down and 4.
You have to stop. That's how you have to stop the option, is you have to come up quick. Force him either pitch the ball quick or make him keep the ball and make him turn back to the center of the defense where you have coverage or help coming.
They'll go I formation. Closer to 3 here for a first down. Gillespie, first down, Hattiesburg, as he crosses the 30 to the 31. He had a hole, he found it, and he squeezed through. Once again, turnovers killing Moss Point.
Just, you can't move the ball down there and don't get anything. You're helping the other team because you're using the clock, and then you don't get anything, you build them back up.
Option on first down, it is Gillespie, and he finds a running lane, and he spins his way out to the 45-yard line. 14 on the play.
Well, the Tigers are coming up very slow on that side, on the option, and that's the only side that Hattiesburg is really running the option, especially if any success. But it's running it to the right, but we got a penalty.
We have a clipping penalty on Hattiesburg.
And it's way back at the 30-yard line, so that's really a big help for Moss Point.
15-yard walk-off puts the ball back to the 15-yard line, where it'll be first and 25.
That penalty flag is the same color of the pants that Hattiesburg is wearing. We lost it in the mix, but we're glad that the zebra on that side saw it. Need a turnover.
Neil Hall looks over the defense. He's back to pass at J.M. Mitchell. Sacks him back at the 5-yard line. Mitchell came right through the gut of the Hattiesburg defense and sacked the quarterback back at the 6, a loss of 9.
No, just taking any fake at all. J.M. Mitchell just had his sights set on him. He evidently, scouting report told him what the Hattiesburg tendencies are on that play, and he just read it and really see a haul back. It definitely need a turnover now.
2nd and 35. Gillespie is a receiver. Gillespie running an out pattern. He makes the catch, and the Tigers have good defensive coverage. James Nettles saw him the entire way, and the pass was only 3 yards.
And that had a long play pass being called. Neil Hall would have been eating that Tiger in the end zone because he had defensive pressure on him for days.
3rd down and 32 now with the ball sitting at the 9.
You sure have to watch the option out to the right now.
But again, they put Gillespie in the slot left. And they send Fudge in motion. Back to pass, the quarterback throws incomplete and nearly intercepted by Johnson. As a matter of fact, Grindle made a great play by deflecting the ball away from Johnson.
And Kenny Johnson made a good cover, came up real good on that. If that ball had been thrown just a little bit late, Kenny Johnson would have had an easy INT.
4:03 left in the 3rd quarter. Moss Point's down by 14 and will get the ball again in terrific field goal position, but we've done nothing with field position tonight. And that's a credit to the Hattiesburg defense. There's the Daniel kick. It's short, and it bounced. Oh, it took a great bounce at the 38 and crosses midfield. That's a 15-yard bounce to give him a 43-yard kick.
And to the receivers on the Moss Point side, they couldn't do anything with it, but the kick was so bad and so low, they didn't have time to get over. But Moss Point's going back to the no huddle, Brad.
Tigers 1st and 10. The 2 times they've moved, 2 of the times they've moved the football, it's been via the no huddle. Bant on first down, gives it to Cisco, who's hit immediately over left guard, but still able to get about 3 yards, maybe even 4.
I think you just keep driving it down their throat, especially if you don't no penalty. But the action I saw earlier again was Jason Armstead. I think he can beat Barnes 21 if they decide to throw the football.
Bant audibles, line of scrimmage, 3:25 and counting. He gives it to Sellers, going left. Sellers cuts it back. Sellers has a first down. Sellers still on his feet across the 30, down to about the 27-yard line, a gain of 22 yards.
And all that was possible, not just, that was good blocking, but if you would have seen the block that Francisco Kelly threw, he threw a devastating block to allow Jarvis Sellers to cut back.
Again, no huddle, I formation, 1st and 10. Cisco this time, he's hit and dropped. Pressured by Elton Thrasher. The running back Kelly dove for 2.
And the linebacker just came. He sometimes he's a linebacker, sometimes he's a down lineman, and right now he's standing up in linebacker. He just came straight behind at Francisco Kelly's legs.
Less than 2:50 remaining. Second down, Cisco with some room to the outside. Cuts it back in and is down at the 16-yard line. And that is very close to a first down.
Love to see the officials looking at that mark there, because if it's not a first down, at least I don't know why the clock is still running.
Because now they stop it because they want to bring out the chains. They spent a long time studying to see if they needed to bring the chains out. It's completely across the football field.
Those 10 seconds may be valuable for one team at the end of this football game. But I see a lot more fire than Morris Point players have come out with. They're playing with a lot of desire, a lot of and more championship-type attitude now. There's more business than it was earlier in this football game.
The stretch, as you look at it on Marcus Cable Channel 13, tells you that they are that short. That's what I counted, about 3 chains.
3 chain links.
7-yard gain, third and that much.
And what do you do? I can see the brain thrust on the sideline. Everyone's kind of eased their own play, and that you got 5 different plays that's being called.
One of them is a pass to Samuel Smith over the middle. The most obvious one is the quarterback sneak.
I'm scared of that one.
Well, I know you are.
And the only reason I'm scared of it because of what some past tendencies and past things that have happened to us in this game, in this season.
Cisco gets the crowd up. Third and a couple of chain links. Fant gives it to Sellers, and Sellers is able to get the first down as he got to the 14.
Well, Morris Point's coming out doing what it needs to do. They're moving the football on. There's only one thing you got to finish this time. I think this series is crucial. You've taken Hattiesburg offense pretty much out of it the last couple series that they've had.
96 in the game for Sellers, none there.
It's hard to really run the ball inside when you get inside the 20 because everyone sort of pinches down a little bit. This is where it's good to try to get the ball to the outside. Now, to the left side, looks like a little action.
Tigers give it to Sellers, who cuts it back inside the block of Cisco Kelly, who got to the 10. It's third down and 6.
He should have stayed to the outside then. He had, with his speed, just run angle to the corner. You don't run lateral with the line of scrimmage. You just angle to the corner. You make the defensive back have to make the right angle choice to stop you. And
third down and 6, Jackie.
And that may be what Kevin Fan just told Jarvis Sellers.
Fant gives it to Sellers. Sellers has to cut it back again. Sellers fights for yardage. He's close to the first down inside the 5.
But what happened then is Hattiesburg defense forced him to come back to the inside. They saw that play before, so they got to the outside. Jarvis Sellers, seeing that, he made a great decision then, fourth down and not very much. I asked for a measurement. With it that close, I have to ask for a measurement.
Tigers will go for it. Fans come to their feet with 40 seconds left in the third. Fant gives it to Sellers. Touchdown, Tigers! Jarvis Sellers got in from 4 yards out, and it's an 8-point game pending the extra point.
And just come down and run the ball down their throat. The challenge, I know what the challenge was now, very easy at halftime. The challenge from Coach Alexander's entire staff was for the offensive line, so you the veteran offensive line, let's take control of this football game. And so far in the second half, the Morris Point veteran offensive line has taken control.
Important extra point here. Good snap, and the kick is good. 37 seconds left in the third. It's a 7-point game, 21-14.
I like the way you say that. Good.
9 plays, 52 yards. And it ate up more than 3 minutes.
And all set up by the good defensive play again by the Morris Point Tigers. Remember the sack J.M. Mitchell had. There was a clipping penalty when Gillespie looked like he had 14 yards on the first down, but the penalty flag has been hurting Morris Point all night. That's what stopped Morris Point on this opening drive here in the second half when Jarvis Sellers had about 8 yards down to about the 10-yard line, and all of a sudden there was a penalty that put Morris Point back and forced a different call than what probably would have been called.
Once again, Morris Point went no huddle and was able to move the ball effectively. Here's the Nettles kick, a line drive shot that sails into the end zone. James Nettles' foot puts Hattiesburg at the 20, 1st and 10.
And now James Nettles has to do the quick shoe change.
Yeah, but taking it off is a lot easier than putting it on.
Well, he has to put another one on. Now, if I'm at Hattiesburg and I know that James Nettles is starting safety, on the first down, I go straight up and call a play. I make them have to use a timeout or something.
Borden out there urging the crowd to chant defense, and it does. 1st and 10, Hattiesburg. Back to pass Hall. Across the middle, it's complete. And nailed by Nettles was Lee at the 28, a gain of 8.
Or someone for the Tigers, I don't know who it was, they got up. If that pass had been maybe 6 inches shorter, he had an INT. And you can see Hattiesburg, they've coming out and said they know they've got to score some points now.
Instead, it's 2nd down and 2 with under 10 seconds remaining in the 3rd. They go option. Quarterback pitches it out to Gillespie. Gillespie the corner. Gillespie run out of bounds with no time left in the 3rd quarter clock. A 1st down for Hattiesburg. It will be 1st and 10 Hattiesburg when we begin the 4th quarter. Your score after 3, the Hattiesburg Tigers 21, Moss Point 14 on Marcus Cable Channel 13.
October is Fall Around Month in Moss Point, a festive time of autumn celebration, a fall time to show our colors as well as our city. Join in the fun. Visit the massive Fall Around display in downtown Moss Point. Bring the kids, the cameras, and have some fun. The city of Moss Point, working hard to do the right thing.
4th quarter of play. Brad Kessie, Jack Yelly here on Marcus Cable Channel 13. Hattiesburg has it 1st and 10. The handoff is to the fullback, and Hopkins is able to get out to the 47 for 3.
Hattiesburg is still trying to play safe. They're trying to play clock management. They want to use the clock. They've seen already that Morris Point's offense can score points, and it's a big play, has big play capabilities. And in order to stop the Morris Point offense, you have to keep them off the field.
2nd down and a short 7 yards to go for Neil Hall. Hall hands off to Gillespie, starts inside, darts to the outside, nearly fumbled the football as Hawkins came up and made the tackle at midfield, but it'll bring up a 3rd down and 3.
Boy, I saw that ball coming loose, and I was waiting.
Right in front of us, it was on his pant leg. But Gillespie, the senior, was able to keep the football and get to the midfield stripe. So on the right hash mark, 3rd down and 3 for Hattiesburg. 11 minutes left. Quarterback fumbles the ball, and the Tigers fall on him. It's Mitchell who drops the quarterback at the 48, a 2-yard loss, 4th down.
He dropped it. That was going to be an option. Nicholas Haynes, number 32, was put in at linebacker, and his job was to run with Gillespie. Had the pitch been made, he was going to be there for the kill.
Daniel in punt formation, Armstead back, watch the fake. And Daniel will punt it. Armstead from the 17 with speed. Jason Armstead to the outside. Jason Armstead back to midfield. 38-yard return by Armstead. Tiger football from midfield. Down by a touchdown.
Well, this is the Cardiac Kids against Hattiesburg. Let's see. Get back up on the line of scrimmage, Morris Point. Get back in the no huddle. You've been successful, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Let's make them have to make the adjustments.
The net on that punt was 1 yard. Matthews and Armstead, the receivers for Kevin Fant. 1st and 10 from Hattiesburg's 49, and there's an electricity here at Dantzler again. Sellers on 1st down. He breaks 1 tackle. He carries a 2nd tackler to the 45 for 4.
And this is the first time I can remember, Brad, I would think that Jarvis has to be 100 yards now. 2 running backs for the Morris Point Tigers have gotten 100 yards in the same game. It's been a little while. A couple times that we may have gotten last year, but first time this year.
118 for Sellers. Give it to him again, going outside, cuts it back. He slipped and got to the line of scrimmage. It's 3rd down and 6. He has 118. Kelly has 122.
Now is the time. I think you just give the ball to Francisco Kelly in the gut, and you let Francisco make it happen. I believe that he can pump out, and I don't like to see Samuel Smith coming out unless he's hurt.
Adrian Marsalis has replaced him at tight end. And Fant fumbled the football. Hattiesburg has recovered at the 46. 5th Tiger turnover tonight, and penalty flags all over the football field.
Let's hope it's dead ball against Hattiesburg.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against Hattiesburg.
Yeah, but it's offense have to come off the football field. It was after the turnover.
Unbelievable how many times we have turned the football over tonight.
You almost have to wonder how we're even in this football game. And remember the new rule, even though it was dead ball, they took away the 1st and 25. It's still ball. It still had to be marked back.
6th Tiger turnover tonight. My mistake. Tiger defense with Bolton and Math and Mitchell, I should say. Nail the running back.
Brad, notice who's that quarterback.
I noticed that.
Number 7, Jabarius Lindsay, and I found out at halftime that's actually who the starter was at the beginning of this year.
So Lindsay is at quarterback.
And I'm trying to see Hall on the sideline, but remember the fumble he had last time on 3rd down.
From the 30-yard line, 2nd down and 11, and they hand the ball off to Gillespie, breaks 1 tackle. Oh, he was nailed by Borden at the 35-yard line. No, that wasn't Borden, that was Bolton.
That was Bolton, but Wansley had him for no gain, or maybe right at the 30, a loss of a yard. That really could be big because it makes this 3rd down call a little easier than having to go 11. Now you only have to go about 6.
8 minutes, 10 seconds remaining. 4th quarter, Moss Point down by a touchdown. Lindsay has 3rd down. He drops. Pressure coming. He gets away from it and got a 1st down. To Boris, Lindsay was about to be a sandwich and yet was able to get 10.
Morris Point defense had him exactly where they wanted. They had him stopped, and he came out of there.
Two Tigers were about to make Lindsay their sandwich meat. They lost the meat. 1st and 10 from the 45. Lindsay, 1-step drop. He throws. It's low and incomplete.
Broderick Nettles and Cornelius Barton made that play with the good pressure on Lindsay. He didn't have time to set his feet. He just threw the ball low.
7:44, clock stop, 4th quarter. Hattiesburg 21, Moss Point 14. Another classic Moss Point Hattiesburg duel. Quarterback rolls, pumps, fires downfield. He's got Daniel open just off his fingertips at the 20. Woodson on the coverage.
This Lindsay can throw the football too, Brad.
He threw a strike, and Daniel could not bring it in. 3rd and 10. They've gone away from Gillespie twice. Will Merchant go away from him a third time? Tigers almost jumped. Fumble. And the Tigers somehow cannot bring down the running back Gillespie, who dropped it in the backfield. Everybody had him, and yet somehow he got 7.
And fourth down coming, but I don't know. I don't know if you could. You have to watch Hattiesburg now. They've been known to the fake, punt, and everything else, and throughout their whole career. Merchant is real good at that.
Fourth down and a short 3 from inside the 50. Good snap to Daniel. They'll trust the defense. The kick to Armstead. Bounces inside the 10, inside the 5, and the Tigers of Moss Point have 7 minutes, 19 seconds to go 98 yards.
Well, now's the time to see a big 90-some yard run. We hadn't had one of those this year, I don't believe. It's time to see somebody, Jarvis or Cisco, to go the distance. But the defense had several big plays, and they didn't really make it. It didn't really hurt them other than it got some time off the clock and it changed field position.
In a mighty big way. They actually spot the ball at the 5. Big improvement. At least we're not on the goal line. First down, they hand off to Cisco, and Cisco spins out to about the 9. Give him 4.
I almost thought I saw a face mask, but evidently not. No one, even Cisco didn't say anything. But that's where I think you have to run the football now with Cisco, just off the tackle and just keep driving it off them. Try to get a couple first downs so you can open up your offense.
They give it to Cisco again. He's not going to get anything there. Good defensive play by Masada Ellis. Brings up 3rd and long.
Moss Point has not really done anything running from the I formation. When they line up in the pro, that's when they've been most successful running the football.
Ellis has to come out of the game for Hattiesburg. 3rd down and 8. Armstead and Jones are your receivers with 6:25 left in the game. Fant back. He sets. He's got pressure coming. He fires. He's got, it's Sellers. And are they going to give him the first down? I'm not sure.
The officials stopped the clock, and that's either it's close enough. It is.
First down, Moss Point.
Boy, and Samuel Smith was in the secondary. Did you see it roaming all by himself? Of course, that wasn't a play that was called, but he was by himself.
Tiger first down at the 15.
We need to remember that first down, Brad.
And they give it to Sellers on first down, and Sellers will get to the 20 for 5.
The offensive line for Morris Point has to control the rest of this football game. They have to keep knocking Hattiesburg off 5-6 yards. Get this game down into the low numbers of time left.
As fog starts to drift over Dantzler Stadium with 5:39 and counting in the 4th. They give it to Sellers again, off left tackle. Sellers in the open field. Jarvis Sellers to the 37-17, and a Tiger first down.
And let's don't forget earlier, Hattiesburg, after a fumble by Morris Point, they went 91 yards. So a punt and Morris Point can go 95. We've seen them go to 90-yard distance several times this year.
Split back set, first down. Give it to Cisco, up the gut, has room, breaks a tackle, up the middle, stays on his feet. Cisco's at the 30, 20, looking to break away, 10, 5, touchdown Tigers! A 62-yard Cisco Kelly run, and we are within 1.
Now Cisco's got to hurry up and change the shoe. Change the shoe. But that's what we're talking about, the dive play off a tackle. Once Cisco gets in the secondary, he can put that burst of speed on that makes many defensive backs wish they never knew who number 10 was.
You just ran 62, now you got to kick an extra point to tie.
A crucial extra point, too.
Takes a deep breath. Armstead puts it down. The kick is up. He missed it. He missed it wide to the right. And it's 21-20.
Jason Armstead did a good job to get the football down, but what got the timing off, it was a bad snap. The ball was low. Jason Armstead got it, but hey, you had to score twice to win the football game anyway. Now the defense needs to come out and make another stop. Morris Point still at 5 minutes in this game to go. 3 timeouts.
21-20 is your score on Marcus Cable Channel 13. Here's a replay forthcoming of Cisco Kelly's 62-yard touchdown run right up the gut, and watch right here. Breaks one tackle there, breaks a second tackle there, and he's off to the races and into the end zone. Here's the kick by Nettles. It sails to the 1-yard line. Tigers stick the return man at about the 27-yard line. Max Lott down there. The Tiger defense must come up big now because the Tigers of Moss Point need the football back with 5:04 left.
Crucial or extra points. But that's asking a lot of a young man, Brad.
I tell you, to run 62 yards, you got to be out of breath. Borden wants the crowd up. Hall back in the game. Hand off to the fullback on first down. Penalty flags before the snap. The Tigers ate up Hopkins there. But Moss Point, no, it's going to be Hattiesburg. Illegal procedure. Momentum has changed even though Moss Point is down 1.
And much to the credit of these fans, Brad, they came out in the second half. They were somewhat subdued at the end of the first half, and then all of a sudden, when they came out, the Moss Point Tigers came out in the second half, they came out with enthusiasm. But the biggest play in that last drive was the 3rd down screen pass to Jarvis Sellers.
It's now 1st and 15. The ball's at the 23. Gillespie, the deep back in the eye behind Hall. They give it to the fullback again, and this time it's Ronald Berry, who had a fumble earlier, who gets to the 31. Berry gets 7, 2nd down and 8.
That's what you call it. Keep the defense on its tight play. You just want to run the football and let them know that you still have that in your arsenal.
They go I formation, receivers left and right. 4:35 left. Option play, quarterback has nowhere to go. He's smothered by Mitchell and Borden with help from Nettles.
And Elmore Hawkins came up from his safety spot, and he was standing about 3 foot from Gillespie. I really wish that Hall had pitched the football then. Hawkins had that pitch in his sight.
8, no gain on the play, I should say. 3rd down and 8. Fans in front of us come to their feet. 21-20 Hattiesburg.
Quarter team.
They bring in a new quarterback. It's Taboris Lindsay on 3rd and 8. The back judge looking at his watch. Penalty flag before the snap. Delay a game would have been called if they didn't call the illegal procedure. It's going to be 3rd and 13.
Coach Alexander saw something. He's telling Broderick Nettles so he can go out and relay it to the defense. It doesn't matter if you're the defensive coordinator, offensive coach, or whatever. Everyone is trying to jet start and keep this defense moving. And to their credit, after being pushed around in the first half, this defense grew up a lot at halftime, and they have played some good second half football.
3:30 and counting. 3rd down, 13. Lindsey back, pressured. He's hit and dropped at the 11-yard line. They'll mark it at the 13, but it was Jesse Mitchell who makes the sack. It is 4th down and forever.
We said that someone had to come up in the defensive line and make the big play. That's at least 3 or 4 times tonight that J.M. Mitchell has come in and made the big play. Double nickel has played his heart out tonight.
Put the ball at the 13. The Tigers will get great field position with 2:55 and counting. The Daniel punt forthcoming. It's off the side of his foot, and it goes out of bounds inside the 25 at the 24-yard line.
It's too early to celebrate, though, Tiger defense offense. You still got to put the ball in the end zone. You want to take 3 minutes off of this clock and score a touchdown than get the 2-point conversion.
If they take 3 minutes off the clock, we're in trouble. There's only 2:48 left.
Well, I thought it was 3:48.
24-yard line, Fogg setting in, 1st and 10. Cisco, they run into each other, but he stays on his feet. It gets down to the 20. Cisco Kelly got 4 after running in to Fant.
Don't need to score too quick. You need to score with enough time just to try the 2-point conversion and then go home.
190 in the game for Cisco Kelly. 2nd down, 6. Give it to Sellers this time, and there was confusion in the backfield again. They got about 1. It's 3rd down, and there are 2 limping offensive linemen on Moss Point now.
Moss Point, I think, is too far out for a field goal attempt, even though you probably have to try it if they don't get the 1st down. But this is one big 1st down here, but
timeout has been called by the official, the umpire. And that gives a chance for Moss Point to get Wesley Morgan in the game, replacing Tavares Armstrong, who is limping on his left leg.
We don't need to lose any of the offensive linemen, but the one you definitely don't need to lose is your senior leader.
3rd down and 5. There's 1:57 left in the game. Moss Point is down 1. 21-20. They're going to go I formation.
In 4-down territory, this almost has to be the pitch.
8 men up, 9 men up for Hattiesburg, and the Tigers jumped early. Didn't matter. They wouldn't have gotten anything on that run because Hattiesburg had it snuffed out. It'll be 3rd down and 10. Hattiesburg had a lot of guys bunched up to that side of the football field.
Hattiesburg has that out pitch lined up pretty good. It's almost, and it's something we hadn't run because we probably don't have it. There's some kind of reverse on that, the way they're committing to that pitch. But this almost brings up throwing down to Jason Armstead. The way number 21 is crowding him, Jason Armstead should be able to beat Barnes. 3rd and 10, Fant back, sets, fires across the middle, oh! Barnes made the play, and it is 4th down in a 21-20 contest. It's a 42-yard field goal if they try it. And they're going to try a field goal. Nettles will do the kicking. 42 yards to take the lead. Moss Point has all its timeouts left. Oh yes, I think it's a good call. I think you have to try it. Fant threw a perfect pass. It was just tremendous coverage on the play by Terrence Barnes. 42-yard field goal attempt for Nettles. Armstead will hold. Good snap. There's the kick. It's up. It is no good. Just under the crossbar with 1:35 left. Oh, I thought he had it on line. He just didn't quite get it high enough. Hattiesburg starts from the 20. 1 first down, and this one is over. But his defense really has to rise to the occasion now. And you know who's going to get the football now. And to show you how much Moss Point think they got to have it, Francisco Kelly is in the football game now. Oh, that's in place of James Nelson because he's trying to shoot. Lindsey hands off to the fullback on 1st down. He breaks a tackle. He breaks a 2nd tackle. Over the football. Bolton falls on it. Kelsey Bolton has it at the 49-yard line. It's the 2nd time tonight that Ronald Berry's put the pigskin on the turf. And you know who made the tackle to strip him? Francisco Kelly. That's who made the play. There's a penalty flag on the play. It's going to be on Hattiesburg. Moss Point football. Well, it's a personal foul. Listen, if that's after the play, that's going to make it 15 yards closer, Brad. And it is. This is the break Moss Point has looked for. The defense created it. The Tigers from the 34 of Hattiesburg with 1:27 and all their timeouts. Region 4's championship on the line. Fant to Sellers on 1st down. He is tripped up and he gets 2. No, don't call timeout yet, Kevin. Kevin wanted to call timeout. Still too early to call the timeouts on second down. All the plays are crucial now.
Cisco up the gut. Cisco fighting for yardage. Close to the first down. It was second and third effort that may have gotten them a first down. It depends on where the football goes down. Moss Point has taken a timeout. We'll keep it right here with 1:06 left in the game. First down, Moss Point on the 8-yard run by Cisco Kelly.
And it is a first down. The official called it without even a measurement.
Cisco with one more carry will go over the 200-yard mark in the football game. Moss Point has had so many chances in this football game to put points on the board and has been unable to throughout.
But they haven't died, Brad. That's character. But, you know, it was very easy, 21-7, and I know right now that Coach Merchant is thinking about whoever that was that made that ill-advised clip on the interception by George Spann, because instead of Moss Point going for the win now, they would be trying to go for the tie.
1:06 left. Hattiesburg's defense comes out after talking to Merchant. Doug Merchant, the head coach of Hattiesburg. Bill Lee has told his offense what he wants run. It's I formation, now they break out of it. First and 10 from the 24. Fant to Cisco. Cisco has the corner. Cisco to the outside. Cisco puts a shoulder down and gets down to about the 10 with 1 minute left. And he's over 200 yards in tonight's game.
Well, truly, Gillespie is a fine running back, but I tell you, the Morris Point Tigers have one in number 10, and he's complimented by another one, number 24. But now's the time you to set the ball up. You run the ball straight ahead at Hattiesburg right now. With a minute to go, you try to run this clock down. Don't give them no time.
Sellers looking for running room. Finds a little. He got 3. Tigers will run no huddle. .45 and counting. Hattiesburg's got to burn a timeout. They couldn't get a player off the field in time.
And good thing, because Morris Point was going to have illegal procedure.
So, timeout. We will keep it here again with 40 seconds left. We can't break away now. Woo! Gillespie has 152 tonight, 71 on one run. Kelly has 212.
And he came back last week. It was Jarvis with the 200. This week it's the Kelly with the 200. And how many does Jarvis have, Brad?
Jarvis has 146. It's 358 yards rushing against Hattiesburg.
And this is not a sloppy team, just like Gulfport was not a sloppy defensive football team. But Brad, you run the football, I think, to the left, and I think you try to set it up almost in case you don't get it. You set up right in front of the goal post for the field goal try.
Second down and 7. Jones in motion. Penalty flag comes down before the snap.
I hope the defense is offside.
And it's offside on Hattiesburg. Hattiesburg lined up offside. Wow. Why is it these games are always like this?
I don't know. My heart don't take these well.
Put the ball at the 3.5. Second down. The Tigers can get a first. Same play. Jones in motion. Give it to the senior Cisco. Outside. Cuts it back inside. Touchdown. Tigers. They'll go for 2.
Gotta go for 2.
They have the lead at 27-20.
Come on, team. Go for 2.
They're going for 2.
Cisco, Hayward Jones, they on the sideline. You need to be on the field for 2 points. Call timeout, Morris Point, because you got the wrong people on the field. Call timeout. You don't need a delay of game penalty on this.
Moss Point missing 1 player.
Thank you.
Tigers will take a timeout.
Woo!
The Tigers were missing one player.
So that's when you don't have your head in the football game. I know you're young, you want to celebrate, but you got to always be thinking a play ahead of what's going to be next. But Francisco Kelly is not just the player of the night, he's the player of the week and the player of the decade right now because he scored the touchdown, brought Morris Point back, but in addition to that, he's the one who stripped Barry at the 50-yard line to get Morris Point the football back, and Kelsey Bolton, to his credit, he was trailing the play. He didn't just give up. He trailed the play, and when the ball was fumbled, so many people make the mistake to try to get the ball and run it back. Kelsey Bolton cradled the football to make certain that Morris Point was going to have a shot.
It is 26-21 with 36 seconds left, and Morris Point will line up in one of those odd formations with a center, a guard, and a tight end. 4 linemen lined up on the left side with Hayward Jones. 1 receiver on the right side, that's Armstead, and Cisco is the only back. Shotgun formation to boot. Good snap, they're going to throw it to the corner. It's gone! It's gone! 2-point conversion worked! The Tigers have a 7-point lead!
But Brad, I'm glad it worked, but you know, what would have happened if Morris Point had come out in that spread, Hattiesburg would have had to use a timeout, and by our count, Hattiesburg still has 2 timeouts left, I think. And that could have been a big timeout that Hattiesburg would have had to use, but you got to give Morris Point credit of the cardiac kids of coming back. I was reading an article about Cardell Stewart, how he couldn't get going in the first half. Well, it appears that Kevin Fant can't get going in the first half against Hattiesburg, but tonight in the second half, Kevin Fant has come back after some bad throws and some bad reads, and you got to give all the credit in the world to Kevin Fant. And while we're talking about it, Brad, I got a second. I want to wish Jaquetta, my daughter, happy birthday for Sunday. Now, if I didn't say that, I couldn't go home.
Jaquetta, happy birthday. Here's the kick. It bounces at the 30 down to the 18-yard line. It's picked up there, and the Tigers defense makes the play at the 25 with 31 seconds left. Boy, that was a slow clock, wasn't it?
Well, the clock doesn't start until it's touched.
Still seemed like a slow clock.
Yeah.
Let's watch the 2-point conversion here. What a wild formation. Where did we come up with this one? Fan pumped, threw it to the corner, and great job by Armstead to get his feet down. 24-yard line, 76 yards away. They have to get a touchdown, and they have Tavoris Lindsay in. Back to pass, across the middle, to Gillespie, completed the 40, gets out of bounds at the 40. Through 2-yard line, give him 18.
This is where I think you got to get Francisco Kelly in the football game and move Hawkins up to a safety or a linebacker and put Cisco Kelly in the secondary. Now, you got to put somebody, one player got to go wherever Gillespie go. He is the only person in the world right now that you don't have to stop. He's the main one you got to stop.
25 seconds left. Lindsay rolls left. He sets. He looks across the middle, and oh, a terrific defensive play there by Nicholas Haynes, number 32.
And you know what? Nicholas Haynes was down at the line when the ball was snapped, and he jumped out in the coverage. Good play, Nicholas Haynes. And see, Hattiesburg has to score a touchdown and get the extra point, Brad. It's not a field goal game. They've got to some kind of maneuver 68 more yards to get in the end zone.
And there's just 21 seconds left in one of the most exciting games we've seen in a long time. Back to pass the quarterback. Lindsay rolling for his life. Back at the 20. He fires it incomplete.
Got to be grounded.
He did have a receiver there.
Okay,
he had his fullback
46
at the 30-yard line. Lindsay now has 15 seconds left.
Wow, 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 wow.
The most exciting games every year are Moss Point and Hattiesburg.
Woo!
Every year. And it always comes down to the final play of the game.
We had our doubts, really, Brad, about it, but watch it because they'll try our option now because that's their most successful play.
Lindsay on 3rd down. They're going to drop back to pass. Pressure coming. He throws long downfield. Bunch there, incomplete. 4th down. Kenneth Johnson had the coverage, Boy, for a minute, I thought it was going to be there.
It looked like it, but Kenneth Johnson covered he made up a lot of ground at the end. He just kept running, but again, it's not bad. Now, Moss Point have to remember something. It's only 9 seconds. Before you let someone break deep, you commit pass interference against them. It's only 15 yards, and the time still moved off the clock.
You better believe it. Final play of the game, we hope. Hattiesburg, 58 yards away. 9 seconds left, 4th and 10. Lindsey drops, hit as he throws, incomplete. Moss Point has won. 5 seconds left. The Moss Point Tigers will share Region 4 with a chance to win it outright next week against Pascagoula.
And you know who the defensive player of the game got to be? The Moss Point's defense, the second half defense that these young men have played. We have talked about them all year about not being the studs, the Muskegon Barnes, the Darrell Hampers, the Kareem Mitchells, the Benadryl Franklins. But let me tell you something. Those 11 young men, along with the defensive coaches, they made some adjustments at halftime, and you have got to give them credit. They have played a tremendous second half. They have to be the defensive players of the game.
Van puts a knee down. Moss Point celebrates the final regular season home game for the senior class. A victorious affair. Final score from Densler Stadium. The Moss Point Tigers 28, Hattiesburg 21. Woo! Jackie, it's going to take us forever to wrap up this football game, but we will.
I don't know if we could, Brad.
We will. After this time out, again, the final score, Moss Point 21 at Hattiesburg. 28, I should say, at Hattiesburg 21. Stay with us. More coming up on Marcus Cable, Channel 13.
Safex pharmacies have been serving Jackson County with 6 locations for over 30 years. Competent pharmacists provide professional services where the well-being of each patient is their primary concern. Shop our newest location in Escataba for individualized professional services and enjoy shopping our gift and cards department at your home-owned Escataba Safex Pharmacy.
In this ever-changing world, it's comforting to know that some things stay the same. Singing River Federal Credit Union has served our members for over 43 years. We offer a complete selection of financial services. As we embark upon a generation of new technology and services, be assured that we will always be here to meet your needs.
We are proud of our history, and we are excited about our future. Come grow with us. We are Singing River Federal Credit Union. People helping people.
I had no fear. The biggest linebacker, the fastest corner, don't touch me. The end zone, I owned it. I never saw it coming. I'll never forget that noise, and I'll never forget the pain. My future was at stake. I wanted the best. Health South, surgery, rehab, and hours of hard work. But now I'm back, ready to rock your world. Give me the ball.
A&B Check Cashers, located on the corner of Jefferson and Main Street in Moss Point. We cash checks, sell money orders, make photo IDs, wire money, and order birth certificates with hardly any wait. We're also your local Bell South Payment Center, where your telephone bill can be paid by using our convenient drive-through window. Remember A&B Check Cashers for fast, convenient service.
Feeling tired too often? Have you lost the energy to see you through the day? Does having to eat on the go all of the time make you one of many with poor, unhealthy eating habits? At day's end, you find yourself restless and just can't get a good night's sleep. You should be trying new Grandpa Caps Tonic. A potent vitamin and mineral supplement taken daily will re-energize you and jumpstart your day. Grandpa Caps Tonic is available exclusively at MediMart Pharmacy. Don't drag another day.
A smile on Jerry Alexander's face as you look at him in the white shirt down on the goal line, the south end of the football field, as Moss Point has come from 21-7 down in the second half to upend Hattiesburg 28-21 in a game that had more twists and turns than any game I think we have seen in a long time. Look at the smile on that football coach's face, and I think that says everything.
Well, and he deserves so because he did a masterful job at halftime. Whatever Coach Alexander, and again, the consistency of the Morris Point team is that the coaches can get together. They know the tendencies, and I'm almost willing to bet some of the offensive coaches came over and kind of talked to the defense about some things and vice versa, and they put together a game plan in the second half, or at least got their people, their young men, to execute the game plan in the second half that they had prepared. Truly an outstanding performance in the second half by the Morris Point Tigers.
The Tigers defense gave up 221 yards in the first half and 21 points. It gave up just 85 yards in the second half and shut out Hattiesburg, in crucial situations in this football game. Conversely, the Moss Point Tiger offense had 229 yards in the second half, 351 yards rushing tonight, 215 for Cisco, 146 for Jarvis Sellers. It was Cisco who scored the winning touchdown. He had 2 on the night. Jarvis Sellers had 2, and Kevin Fant, who on the night was 7 of 17 for 70 yards, or I should say 7 of 16 for 70 yards, 1 interception with a crucial 2-point conversion with just 36 seconds left, that gave the Tigers the 7-point victory.
There were so many big plays in this football game, and the one that you have to go back is the one in the first half when Kevin Fant was hit. He tried to force a pass. George Spann intercept, had an apparent touchdown. One of the Hattiesburg people got excited and had a clip on it, obvious clip. Everyone in the stadium saw it. Even the coaches from Hattiesburg didn't have anything to say about it on the sideline because they saw it, other than a young man shouldn't have done it. And that was a big play. But then you keep going over into the second half. You think about Morris Point moving the football in the first series of downs. They don't score the touchdown. Francisco Kelly throw the interception. He came to the sideline, Brad. When we saw him, he was obviously upset. But at that time, I know he made a decision. I'm going to put this football game on my shoulders. And then after then, Jarvis Sellers and Kevin Fant, the big third down play. And then Francisco Kelly stripping Berry at the end to give him a shot to win the football game.
Did you happen to see, when Armstead caught the 2-point conversion, what Cisco Kelly was doing? Cisco Kelly was laying on the 9-yard line, just laid out flat, and you could see his body just vibrating on the football field. I mean, you talk about emotion. He didn't care that he wasn't the one who got the 2-point conversion. Doesn't matter to him. They won a football game, and that was pure exhaustion and pure excitement, all rolled into one.
We talked about that before the football game. Francisco wants to do good, and he'll like to score every touchdown, but he knows it's not going to happen. And in some of our conversation we had this past week at the county fair, he told me that, he said, Coach Jack, I just want to win the football game. I just want us to do well. I want our football team to go back and do something that hadn't been done in the state, and that's repeat as state champs. And in order to do it, we've got to beat Hattiesburg, and we're going to give everything we can to beat them.
Well, you said at the beginning of this football game, on the pregame show, the team that makes the fewest mistakes will be the team that wins this game. The Tigers tonight of Moss Point, 6 turnovers, 1 missed extra point, 1 missed field goal, and yet the Moss Point Tigers win.
Is that a little mud in my face?
No, if I would have said to you at the beginning of the game we would have turned the ball over 6 times and missed an extra point, you would have thought we were going to get blown out.
And everyone else will. But the key is when you make the mistakes.
Yeah, but we made the mistakes at crucial times.
Hattiesburg made the mistakes early. Morris Point grew up and stopped them. Hattiesburg could not stop Morris Point in the second half. And remember the bad punt that Matt Daniels had.
Yeah.
Even though it was a bad punt, we did not score on that.
Right.
We missed the field goal.
Right.
And probably the best thing happened to us was missing the field goal. Because
yeah, in the end, you're right. You're right.
Because Hattiesburg still would have had a lot of time to come back, and the only thing they would have done, and watching Llewellyn kick, he's a good kicker. The only thing they had to do was get in field goal position. So, I mean, we didn't know that at the time. We thought that maybe the cause was almost helpless. You made a comment that the only thing Hattiesburg had to do was get one first down. This game was over. Ronald Berry had the first down.
Yep.
But Francisco Kelly never gave up and stripped, and Kelsey Bolton, to his credit, we said it earlier, he never gave up on the play. He kept coming. When the ball was fumbled, he cradled the football and gave it back to his offense. And then someone from Hattiesburg made another dumb mistake, and they got the personal foul against them to give Morris Point the football about the 35-yard line.
I tell you what, give Kelsey Bolton a lot of credit, because that ball was bouncing toward the sideline, and if he doesn't do exactly what he did, the ball could have gone out of bounds. He could have gone out of bounds, and Hattiesburg would have recovered. It was a tremendous play by him. It was a tremendous effort by an entire football team that that admittedly in the first half looked like a defeated football team on the sidelines that had no emotion.
But after the first couple of series in offense, it looked like that our offense was going to be clicking on all cylinders. But Hattiesburg, to their credit, their defensive coaches went in and they made whatever adjustments on the sideline in order to stop the Morris Point offense from just running up and down the football field. They made the offensive adjustments and they made the defensive adjustments. It took Morris Point to halftime to go make the adjustments. And when they made the adjustments at halftime, it's evident we outgained them by 220 to, 80-some yards in the second half. That's a complete turnaround. We scored 3 touchdowns. They don't score anything. As a matter of fact, they didn't even get close in the second half to anything. I don't think they had 3 or 4 first downs the entire second half.
I would actually like to be down in the huddle and hear what's being said, because this is the first time I remember, besides the championship game last year, where you can actually hear cheers coming from the football field in that huge huddle they have at about the 10-yard line. It must be an ecstatic football team down there, especially the senior class that played its final regular season home game here at Dantzler Stadium, and it's a game they'll never forget as the fog continues to set in here at Dantzler Stadium.
It's really coming in now.
This was Halloween at its best, wasn't it? It had plenty of tricks and a treat at the end.
Well, Morris Point tricked them, and at the end, Morris Point got the treat, and Hattiesburg would go home. But I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised to see Hattiesburg again in the South State Finals. I don't know how the brackets are drawn, but I wouldn't be surprised that we see Hattiesburg again somewhere down the line. It's just a matter now of them not losing it and us keeping the momentum we had, because last year we had an emotional game. And we had to play the next week against Pascagoula, and we know Pascagoula upset us.
Yep.
And now this year, Coach Alexander's staff, they're faced with the same dilemma again.
Yep.
And especially with Pascagoula not doing as well this year as what they've done in the past, basically because of the split of the high schools. But I think that Morris Point's coaching staff learned from last year, and I think that this team is a lot more focused, Brad, than even the championship team to me, because I think that they realize that they're not as overall talented in individual talent, but they play as well as a team as what we've ever seen them play.
We will be at War Memorial Stadium next Friday night. 7:30 is the kickoff as Moss Point and Pascagoula renew the Jackson County War for the upteen zillionth time. And it doesn't matter what the records are. It should be a great football game, and Moss Point learned that the hard way 1 year ago. Revenge will be on the minds of these Moss Point Tigers, and they will play off that this week in practice.
And what's on them, and what Morris Point has an opportunity to do next week as well is not just to try to go out and win the football game, but it's been several years. Francisco Kelly, as a sophomore, jumped on the scene and was a 1,000-yard rusher. With that 15-yard tonight, he's within 1,000-yard range. And in addition to that, Jarvis Sellers had 720 coming in. He gets 140. It's not too out of place that both of these running backs can't finish the regular season with 1,000 yards. And considering that Morris Point has had a rotation of pretty much 3 people, and many times in football games in the start of the fourth quarter, midway through, the starting running backs are out because Morris Point has such a commanding lead that they don't even play late into a lot of ball games.
They'll play a lot next week when Moss Point and Pascagoula meet at War Memorial Stadium. The final again here tonight. Moss Point clinches at least a share of the Region 4 championship in 1997 with a dramatic 28-21 come-from-behind victory over Hattiesburg. So the 3rd-ranked Moss Point Tigers upend the 5th-ranked Hattiesburg Tigers. Tiger Football 97 is brought to you by Singing River Federal Credit Union International Paper Company, Sabrex Pharmacies, the City of Moss Point, its employees, the Board of Aldermen, and the Mayor, Williams & Sons Liquors and Wines, Health South, A&B Check Cashers, Metamart Pharmacy, and Dr. Carlos Forrester. Clarence DeBose and everybody associated with Candy Video Productions, congratulations on another outstanding job bringing the pictures of another Moss Point victory to the people of Moss Point and Jackson County. Look forward to doing it again next Friday night, 7:30 kickoff, when Moss Point takes on Pascagoula in the final regular season game of 1997. Moss Point now 8-1 this year and 6-0 in Region 4 play, and as I said, at least ranked number 3 in the state of Mississippi, heading in to the playoffs, which begin in 2 weeks. It's been fun, my friend, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
Oh, yeah, and again, happy birthday, Jaquetta Monet, who's a happy 10 years old, will be a happy 10 years old tomorrow, Sunday. And I know I asked my baby.
you got to wish the baby happy birthday.
That's right.
Happy birthday from everybody associated with Candy Video Productions. Again, the final score, Moss Point 28 and Hattiesburg 21. Tiger Football 97 is a Candy Video production, seen exclusively on Marcus Cable Channel 13. Until next Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, have a good week, everybody.